Good evening, Vancouver. Now, welcome back to Canucks After Dark. Here at the beginning of August, we have survived the heat wave, and we are ready to talk about all of the big Canucks news that happened over the past week. As always, joined by my co-host, Canuck Clay. How are you doing today, Clay?
Parker, I'm great. I missed you. I know we didn't stream last week, and I guess you took the time to find a band. That was pretty good. That was really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's original. I put some feelers out. Got a good local band. That's BCDC actually.
Are you serious?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
That was
good.
the random rock music in StreamYard. How are you doing?
Things are good. I did a quick trip to Edmonton for work. Got to see Pope Francis, and then pretend I was part of a security and media detail there. And now I'm back. And then, as you know, we're off finally a family trip. Finally, my wife gets to go somewhere. I've been gallivanting. My sons have been gallivanting, but we're all going to Hawaii later this week. So yes, and then I'm back, and no more trips after that. So
nice. That is exciting.
How about you, my friend?
Things are good. Got a couple mini trips coming up. Just
Sweet
cabins. Nothing too crazy, but I'm excited to talk about absolutely nothing. Because I mean, we thought last week we were like, all right, well, it's sunny and I was tired, and Clay was in Edmonton, and it was like, you know what, let's skip. Let's come back next week, regroup with a full news cycle.
Oh, yeah.
A full week, all this new stuff that's going to happen with the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, like Jim Rutherford talked to Rick Dhaliwal for 5 minutes, and I think that's about it.
Yeah. So Rutherford, it's interesting, actually. Rutherford did talk to Dhaliwal, and Dhaliwal tweeted about it, and he did appear on the Bob McCown podcast with John Shannon. But Parker, I can recap it for you in 15 seconds. JT Miller still holding pattern. If they can't sign him, they'll trade him. And the other thing is, he thinks our defense is good enough, but as long as they stay healthy and play well, because he believes in Jack Rathbone, and he believes that Tucker Pullman is a top 4 defenseman in this league when healthy. Oh,
I object. That's just incorrect.
Yeah, but what I agree with you, but what else is he going to say? He's not going to trash his own player in the
he could.
in the media.
He could.
Not if he's trying to trade him.
Right. Yeah, no, it's I'm okay with Tucker Pullman at this point. Like, you look at the lineup, the way it's sort of shaping out, and it's like it's all okay until you get to Luke Shen on the top D pair. That's where you lose me.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine-ish.
Yeah. So I think it's a good question. I love your opinion on this, Parker, because talking to people about this. 2 things. Are you fine with now, after that big splash of the 3 forward free agent signings, Kuzmenko, Mikheyev, Lazard, that we've talked about on July 13th? It's not a lot since then. So 2 questions. Are you fine with this patient approach now, or did you expect more? And number 2, are you fine with how much Rutherford actually speaks in the media? Because I think it was refreshing at the start, especially compared to Benning, but then he's basically not saying a lot, but people are expecting a lot. So maybe that's no big deal. Maybe we like the transparency. So those 2 questions for you.
Yeah, I think we're just at the point where it's just July, know, on that second point where it's like, I mean, he's going to still be asked questions and nothing will have changed. So I'm okay with, not a lot coming out really.
Okay.
Because not a lot's changing. I expected a little bit more action, I guess, right? And obviously the whole JT Miller thing, right? That's one side of it, but also just, that the defense needs work, and every single thing that was done so far this offseason has been around the forwards.
Yes.
That's the scary part, but defensemen are so much harder to get a hold of than forwards, right? There is a lot of decent forwards out there that can be acquired for pretty cheap. There's not a lot of good defensemen that can be acquired for pretty cheap. So
right.
They're doing the best what they can. They're not forcing anything. They're not signing any guys to 4x3s that don't deserve them, because it's just, you got to pay in free agency, or you got to, to get a guy, you got to give up something. They're not pushing for things that they shouldn't be.
Yeah, you surprised? I know we're going to bounce all over the place tonight. I think that's just going to be the nature of tonight. So everyone, be forewarned. We're going to be bouncing all over the place. Are you surprised that Kadri's not signed yet?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things that it's like, he's got something worked out and they got a clear cap space, right? Which kind of makes sense to me. He's gonna get paid anyways.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. More surprising was like Klingberg getting just 1 year, right? That's 1 by 7, I guess it was, when he
Yeah.
was apparently offered like basically that for 6 years by Dallas, which is
Wow.
tough. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But
Him and Ulevi gonna wreak havoc on the
oh
Pacific
yeah.
Division.
Oh man, I'm excited that Olio Levy's back in this division. To be honest, because oh man, think about Mikhaev going 1-on-1 on Ulevi, just speed wise, like going down the wing against Ulevi. He's gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Watch, you and I think that we can't wait for that, and Ulevi's just gonna plaster him
He's
with a
gonna be a
massive hip
stud.
check.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, that's true though. You make a good point though, because I think when Rutherford came in, especially with Alvin, they talked a big game, but not like just to talk. They said they're going to try really hard to clear out cap space. They're going to try really hard to improve the defense, and I think they're trying. I think it's proving not to be as easy as they thought, though. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that it's just the way it is, right? It's a hard cap. It's tough to make moves, but we can talk about other fun things that happened around the NHL this week.
Sure.
I'm just scrolling through sort of the news. Adidas isn't going to be the jersey people after 2023-24.
Oh,
So that's going to be interesting, right? We might get new jerseys, new whatever in the next couple of years. Probably not that important. Kako got
Interesting.
extended for 2 years at $2.1 million. There's the
Yeah.
Klingberg one.
Yeah.
There was the LA Kings putting up a statue of Dustin Brown. That's a fun one.
yeah. It's funny. I think I saw that on the day that I was in Edmonton, and I saw the statue of Gretzky outside of Rogers' place. So
Yeah, Gretzky, Brown, those hand in hand.
exactly.
Oh, it was so funny.
Were a lot of people kind of taking the Kings to task?
Yeah, and there were some people who were like, "Oh, but he's the only captain. He's the only person to captain the Kings to 2 Stanley Cups." And it's like, yeah, but like it wasn't him. He put up 60 points once,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he's not
Yeah.
Gretzky. He's not Kobe. Like you look at the other statues that are out there
Yeah.
out front of Staples Center, and
Yeah.
Dustin Brown isn't really going to fit in, right? Like if it was Kopitar, I would have said that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But Brown is, or even Quick, right? Like that would have been maybe more reasonable. But just because he wore the C, you don't see. If the Canucks won Game 7 in 2011, do you think there's a Roberto Luongo stat? I guess let's say they had won it in 2010 or whenever he was the captain in 2009.
Yeah.
Would there have been a Roberto Luongo statue out front just because he was the captain?
Not just because of the captain. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Crazy.
Crazy. Speaking of, well, not crazy. We're thankful. Lucas, $5 donation. His bet on the NHL jersey manufacturer after Adidas, Nike.
Yeah, very possible. There's not a lot of other options, really, unless like Fanatics just takes over everything, which would be a nightmare.
Right.
Because they are just the worst.
Because so officially they went from Reebok to Adidas, correct? So naturally, it would be a Nike or.
Yeah, there was nothing in the middle, I don't think. Yeah,
Right.
It was
right.
Reebok to Adidas.
Okay. Well, I missed that news about Adidas. Although admittedly I'm not big on like.
Yeah, you're not
I don't know.
collecting a bunch.
Yeah, jerseys, collections, and design, and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. Nike makes sense. I'd buy that for $5.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Thank you, Lucas.
That's about it for news. Yep. That's
Wow.
about it. Pugliarvi got signed for $3 million for 1 year. Wow,
Right.
exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, then I
that's,
heard Jesper Bratt and the Jersey Devils.
Jersey
Their
Devils are in
numbers are up
arbitration.
there. They're
Yep.
kind of far apart.
They're always far apart, and they'll end up somewhere in the middle. I mean, Brad had 73 points, I think, this year. He should be getting, for a 1 or 2 year deal, you think he'd get, 6-7 million.
Yeah, he wants 6.
so-
The team counted
Yeah.
with 4.
And he'll get 5 because it's right in the middle, and that's what the arbitrators do. So that's just how it ends up usually.
Yeah. I'm going to Lucas for any jersey. Thank you for the $2 donation, Lucas. Remember this, Jets. I'm a jersey. Yes, good. We need more of that. And look, man, do you want to talk about what Coach Rob just did, Parker? That's pretty awesome. Do you see it on your?
What he did? Oh, he
It's-
gifted.
it'll-
I just popped up after. Gifted 5
Awesome.
memberships. Thank you, Coach Rob. Much appreciated. It I don't think it pops up in here, so I can't show it on the screen.
Okay.
But
so welcome, Lazy Eye. You are a brand new Canucks After Dark member, thanks to Coach Rob. This is a great time to explain what's happening, because on Canucks After Dark we have memberships. We just launched it. Parker and I just launched it a month ago. Any member can actually gift memberships as well. So they're 1 month, and Parker and I, even the gift giver, we don't get to choose who they go to. It's some random algorithm where they try and reward people that have been here quite a bit, or of supporting or engaging with us. So Coach Rob, thank you for purchasing those 5 gift memberships. And now we're starting to see them flow in through the chat. So Lazy Eye is 1. Blitz is another. Smooth One Time is 1. Ivan Fedortsov is a 4th. And we're waiting on one more, Parker.
It'll
one
come
more.
In.
Thank you, Coach Rob.
Thank you very much, Coach Rob.
That's awesome.
So that's all of the news. We're caught up. 10 minutes. That's all it took. Angus is the last one, by the way. Thanks, Angus.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're caught up. So the plan for this was we could take some questions. We also do have, and this has been long anticipated for almost a year at this point, 11 months in the making, our preseason predictions. I have the tallies. They're not tallied up, but I have all the scores. Not for you guys. I haven't added up those your people's yet. It's just Clay and I have added up our scores to see who wins. And we still haven't finalized a bet. And it's really going to be, does it invalidate our playoff bet, or is someone doubling up? So we'll see there. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just get into those, or do you want to take some questions first?
Yeah. Why don't we get into those, where that takes us, and then we can spend the rest of the time doing questions. So everyone, thank you for the questions. Hold on to them, because we're probably going to ask you to re-ask them in about 10 minutes or so, so we don't lose them, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. There were, how many questions were there? They start at column C and they go to AH. So about 30. About 30 categories. So we're going to keep a running tally. Are you ready?
Yeah. Do I have to do the running tally, or you got
Nope,
it?
I've got it all. I've got the numbers here.
So as always, I just sit here and do nothing.
Keep track as we go. Pretty much. All right. Keep in mind the scoring system was as follows. If you basically, and on anything that was like a insert number here. So for example, total points for the Canucks last year, you get 10 points for getting it right, going down by 1 point for each one you were off.
Oh.
So if you were less than 10 off, you'll still get some sort of points. If it was a multiple choice, it's all or nothing, 10 points or 0.
Wow.
All right, Canucks total points. I said 98, you said 95. Actual score was 92. So for reference, you were off by 3, I was off by 6, so you get 7 points, I get 4 points.
I understand now. Okay.
Will the Canucks make the playoffs? We both said yes. We were both very wrong. I guess not very wrong. They kind of pulled it back. So 0 for each.
Okay.
How many games will the Canucks win against the Seattle Kraken in their first season? We both said 3 out of 4. We were both wrong. So 0 points on each of those.
Oh.
The next 2 questions were about would Travis Green and then Jim Benning be fired? We both said no. They were both fired. We both got 0 points.
We're not very good at this.
So keep track. You're still 7. I'm still 4.
Okay.
Canucks goal differential. I said +7. You said +10. Answer was +13. So you get another 7. I get another 4. Bring us to 14-8. Longest winning streak. I said 6. You said 5. Answer was 7. So I get 9. You get 8.
Whoa.
You make up for it on longest losing streak, though. I said 4. You said 5. It was 5. So that's 10-9. I've already lost count. You were up by 6, I think.
Okay.
Then
Yes.
we get to some contracts. Quinn Hughes, total contract value. Total millions. Total number of millions. I said 60. You said, I actually put this in wrong here. I said 60. You said 64. It was 47.
Oh.
So we both got 0.
Okay. Okay.
I put it in wrong. I put myself as 6, so that's going to take some points away from me. Elias Pettersson, contract value. I said 25. You said 24. It was 22. So you get 8. I get 7. I think you're running away with this.
No, I'm only up 7. I'm only up 7. I'm only
up 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Elias Pettersson total points. We both get 0 on this one. We've said I said 83. You said 80. It was 68. Brock Besser total points. Guess how many points we got on this one?
Probably 0 again.
Yeah. Besser got 72. I said 72. You said 71.
And he
You got
got
46.
Oh.
Bo Horvat total points. I said 60. You said 64. It was 52. So I get 2 points. You get 0.
So you're plus 5 now. Okay.
Plus
Closing
5.
that.
Bo, that was the same one. JT Miller total points. We got 0. We've said 68 and 70. It was 99.
What's wrong
Connor
with us?
Garland, we both got 0. I was off by 10. You were off by 13. Vasily Podkolzin total points. You said 40. I said 32. It was 26. So I got 4 points there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What's the gap? Is it 1?
1.
Okay, well, you get it back a bit. Tanner Pearson total points. I said 28. You said 33. He had 34.
Yes.
So that is another 5 points for you,
So
basically.
plus 6 me. Okay. Okay.
Tyler Mott total points. This is across both teams. Well, he had 0 points in New York. I said 13. You said 21. He had 15. So that is a 4-point swing.
4-point swing.
I had
Okay.
8 points. You had 4. So it's what,
Yep.
2-point different now?
Yep.
Brandon Sutter total points. We got nothing. Quinn Hughes total points. I said 63. You
Oh.
said 64. Wait, no.
Oh.
Hold on. Which one was which? Sorry. Yeah, I said 63. You said 64. It was 68.
So I gain a point on you.
You gain a point
Correct.
there.
Yep.
So you're up, what, 3?
Correct.
Ekman Larson. I said 38. You said 45. It was 29. So I get 1 back.
1.
It's
Okay.
1 to 0.
Yep.
What's the difference? 4?
Plus 2 only.
It's only 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was more. Okay.
No, it's only 2.
Tucker Poolman total points. I said 9. You said 13. He had 3 points. So I get 4 points. You get 0.
So you're winning now.
Jack Rathbone total points. He had 0. So it doesn't matter because we both had double-digit numbers. Who plays more games? Matthew Highmore or Zach McEwen? We both said Matthew Highmore. We were both incorrect.
What?
Zach McEwen played 75 games in Philadelphia this year.
Oh, man.
So it doesn't matter. Oli Uolevi NHL games played. I said 13. You said 26. He played 18 games, giving me 5 points and you 2 points.
3-point difference. Okay. You're up 5 now. Oh, no.
Danila Klimovich NHL points. We both said 0. We were both correct. So no difference there. Tyler Myers average time on ice. I said 21. You said 22. The correct answer was 21:59, which I would say is 22. So
Okay.
you make up 1 point there.
Okay.
Thatcher Demko save percentage. I said 915.
Wait, he was 21:59 and I guess 22. I should be
That
more
was
than 1
pretty good.
point.
Well, it's 10, but I got 9 because I said 21.
Okay, fine.
And then Thatcher Demko save percentage. I said 915. You said 918. It was 915. So I get 10. You get 7.
Yep.
Yaroslav Halak save percentage. I said 913. You said 915. It was 903.
What's I doing?
And then Mikey DiPietro NHL games played. I said 4. You said 3. It was 1. So you get 8 points. I get 7.
Okay.
So I think that
That's
means
it?
I win.
No more?
That is
Oh, yeah.
it.
You beat me by 5 or 6 points.
102 to 96 is the final score on our preseason predictions. I was close. It was closer than I thought. I didn't tally them up before this. I just counted the numbers.
That was actually very close when you think
It was
about
close.
how many questions we had in the
And how
range.
wrong we both were on so
Yeah.
many of them.
All it took was for one of us to get a 10er and the other guy didn't, and that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you had guessed that the Canucks would have won all 4 games against Seattle,
Oh,
right? That's the difference. But I mean, that would have been a pretty bad bet usually, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. So we are now even.
We are.
We are even, completely even, which means no one gets anything.
So you take the preseason prediction game, which was very good. I
You got the
take
playoffs.
the playoff pool game. Okay. So either we just call it square, or we come up with
Yeah, like a punishment for each of us.
that we each have to do, but they got to be equal in ramification.
Yeah, maybe we'll just get another bet going.
Okay. Fair enough.
Matt does ask, do it again. We will, but we will do it when the roster's sort of finalized, sort of like preseason, which is what
That
we did
sounds
last
good.
time.
Shannon, I hope you feel better. I hope it. Well, COVID or whatever it is. I hope you get better. No problem. Thanks for trying to stick it out with us. Appreciate it.
Vince wants a tiebreaker, and I'm wondering if we could do a tiebreaker that would be faster than the entire season. But we can brainstorm offline if we need to.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Tiebreaker's a good idea. Yeah, tiebreaker's a really good idea.
Preseason points. Do the same thing, all of it just for preseason, which mean nothing.
Or right at the start of preseason, we take their 7 games and we just total points or like record.
We could
in the preseason games. That's an easy one, and we'll have it done in 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, something to think about.
All right. Lucas said mentioning that the AHL schedule is announced. That is news.
Right.
I haven't really looked at it because for me it'll be one of those things of, there's a game in Abbotsford. I'm going to go to it. I'm not really planning on far ahead for that. Angus says play a ping pong game. Yeah, no, let's play a round of golf. How about that?
Well, we obviously know what's going to happen there.
Well, we know what would happen in the ping pong game too.
So hockey, you'd smoke me. Golf, you smoke me. Ping pong and bowling, I likely beat you. So then that's 2-2.
Not likely. You would win.
Peter says, what's more likely to happen? A Miller trade or Clay not eating sushi for a month? Honestly, I cannot go one. Oh, this is really bad. I can't go a week without eating it. So
that is tough. King RJ, this could be our tiebreaker. Who can eat the most chicken nuggets in one sitting?
Okay, seriously, how many realistically could you easily do a 10-pack? Easily?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How about after that? Could you do another 10-pack?
I could probably do 20. I think then it would start to get... Actually, probably wouldn't be that tough, right?
And I'm way more unhealthy than you, but I don't know if I could do 20, actually.
I could knock 30 down. How many calories are in one chicken nugget? McNugget calories. Each one is like 40 calories.
So 1,200 calories.
So a 20 piece is only 830 calories. That's like a regular meal at McDonald's.
Okay.
Right? So I could knock out a 40.
Wait, you beat me for sure.
Okay.
You'd hammer me.
I'll take
Lucas,
that one.
another $5 donation. We appreciate it. The AHL Pacific Division has 10 teams. Yeah, are they trying to eventually get to a normal alignment of some sort?
Firebirds.
Oh yeah. But are they truly trying to get to it? Will they eventually get to normal alignment?
I would think so. Actually, the AHL doesn't really matter, does it? Like in that, like, do they need to have like perfect divisions and everything? Like,
that's true.
Like it's like, one division has 10 and the other has 9. Like, who cares? Or 8 or whatever, right? You're not going to relocate teams to change the divisions because you don't want travel.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Vince Terrence, this is a good one about Campbell. So, did you see a guy from Edmonton?
This one guy tweets a random thing and it blows up. It's crazy. But go ahead.
Jack Campbell is the best goalie in the Pacific Division, and it's not even close.
It's just wrong. And look, he has an argument. Not for the not close part. He doesn't have an argument for that part. But like his career save percentage is a .915, which is genuinely good. However, you have to keep in mind he's only played 140 games and he's 30 years old, right? He's only had not even three seasons of a starter's workload under his belt.
Yep.
That's not enough to be the best goalie in a division, right? You have to have some sort of longevity, like a Jacob Markstrom has, right? Markstrom has been a starting goalie for basically 5-6 seasons now, right?
Yeah.
And in all of those seasons, he was excellent, right? He had 1 year we had a .904, but he was what, second in Vezina voting this last year, and Jack Campbell put up a .897 in the playoffs. I guess a .914 during the season, but Campbell's been good, like really good, but he hasn't had longevity.
Yeah, I even think the stats might not play it out, but skill-wise, I think Gibson is as good as Campbell too.
Yeah, I think Gibson's getting a little worse.
Yeah.
Having to play 60 games a year in front of that team
right
has not done well for him. where he's sort of regressed the last few years, right? Like a 904 in each of the last 3 years, where in the
that is
first
not
few years
good.
of his career is 920, 924, 926, right? Like
Yeah.
crazy start to his career, and I think he's just, I think it's just getting to him at this point.
Okay, Parker, rank these 5 goalies then. Save percentage stats, be darned. Just 5 best goalies between Demko, Markstrom, Lehner, Campbell, and Gibson.
Oh, Leonard and Gibson are both tough because they've both peaked really high and haven't done as well since.
Yeah.
I think right now I'd have Markstrom as number one.
Yeah.
I think I'd have Demko and Campbell splitting,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd have Gibson above Leonard.
Yeah, Lehner has struggled. There's a mosquito basically flying around. I feel like smacking it, but I feel like I'm going to miss it and just smack my face.
It's on your end at least, not mine.
Yeah, no, it's in my. If he gets to your place, that would be some pretty weird
That would be
stuff.
frightening.
Yeah, I love to say I think Demko's going to do one more good year and overtake Markstrom. So I would agree with you actually. Markstrom, Demko, 1-2, and then yeah, I do like Gibson more than Lehner. So maybe I will go same Campbell, Gibson, Lehner actually.
Yeah.
Same as, yeah.
And I think Campbell and Demko are on very, very similar footing at this point, right? Demko had the bubble, which like obviously has done well for him, but I mean they've played about the same amount of games. Campbell's had a bit higher save percentage.
Yeah.
He's also had a better team in front of him for the most part. Yeah, I think they're fairly equal at this point. But you'd obviously rather have Demko because he's younger by 4 years.
Yes. Angus, new member, hilarious. Tiebreaker event for charity at basketball court. There's a hockey net and a ball, hockey goal equipment, and members take shots on you guys by paying $5 shooting from half or $10 for a breakaway.
I'm in. Sold.
You'd be a good goalie.
Yeah, I could do ball hockey goalie and struggle a bit. If I had rollerblades on, I'd probably do better. That's always the hard part playing like ball hockey goalie is like you can't slide at all. You have to like get up and then move, or do like little knee hobbles where you're sort of doing this and shimmying over. But that would be fun.
Have you ever had to play net, by the way, like for any of your teams, like as a last
growing up, I played goalie once on ice hockey because like it was like the first year of hockey. It was like, all right, everyone plays goalie one game, and I think I tied 5-5.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean I had 4-year-olds shooting on me. I was a 4-year-old or 5-year-old or whatever it was, but it was like those Timbits games where you see the shots look like this, where they're just like swinging, like sweeping, and the goalie just falls down to both knees and is too slow. That was me.
That's funny. That's good. I've never had to play goalie. However, there's one game where a goalie didn't show up. So we played, it's 4-on-4 roller hockey, 4 skaters and then a goalie. So we had 5 skaters, and you think that we dominate because we have 5 skaters, but no, I basically went back as the de facto goalie. So it's still 4-on-4. Really, and then me not really doing much except trying to make stupid saves with my shins. No,
we have had that once. We did have that once where a goalie was late for an ice hockey game, and we had to go about the first, I think, 7 minutes of the game with an empty net.
Yep,
and we were up 1-0 after.
That's impressive.
It was really surprising that we pulled.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Idea about a charity. Lucas says summer 2023 Canucks After Dark street hockey tournament. Proceeds from tournament go to Canucks for Kids or Canucks Autism.
It is not hard to sell me on a street hockey event. I will tell you that. That would be very easy for me to get involved. When it's, as long as it's not 32 degrees out, because that's a line I draw.
Yes.
It has to be 26 or less, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and then poor goalie. Maybe goalie wants like 16 degrees instead of 26.
That would be the worst. Yeah. That would be terrible.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good I'd be at street hockey. Well, I know I'm not very good at roller hockey. I like playing, but I'm not the most skilled guy. But it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like it. What else we got?
I don't know. What else do we got?
I saw some good ones earlier.
Oh, we forgot the biggest piece of Canucks news for the week. The Aquilini tweets.
Who was the original tweet that he replied to?
It was Ian Rappaport, the NFL insider,
Yeah.
who had said, I think he just said, like, it was about the Kyler Murray's contract, because there was like a stipulation in Kyler Murray's contract that he had to like study film for X number of hours in the week.
Okay.
And then Rappaport tweeted out that, like, remove this clause, and then Francesco responded, CD space BC space GM space NBH space I space pink H4M. And that's it. And then I think he had another tweet as well, which is I don't have up here, but it's pretty good.
That is funny.
We should sell some shirts that say that just across the top.
Then did he do the "I got hacked, I apologize" tweet?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
That. Yeah, it wasn't. And then Rick Dollywall responded to his tweet with just a string of letters, because Rick Dollywall always does that when he gets to the ground.
Yes.
And it was very funny.
How does that happen? The accounts actually get hacked?
See, to me that feels more like a pocket tweet.
Right.
It does a hack tweet, right? Like he clicked on a tweet, didn't press the button and put the phone in the pocket, and it just hit a bunch of letters, and as he like pulled it out, he hit tweet by accident.
Right.
You know, I think that's way more likely that someone got into his account and went on to Ian Rappaport's random tweet and typed in random letters and pressed send.
That is pretty funny. You know, Jake, I thought Jake Virtanen, nothing to do with his case or whatever. I remember that he said that he butt tweeted something, but it was this was a few years ago.
I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was something about another player that either got hurt or it was a response to another news about another player.
Yeah, it was Mirko Mueller's injury update.
Right.
And he tweeted 3 Zs, like sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, not...
And then he said it was a butt dial, not even got hacked.
Yeah, just a weird coincidence that it would be him, eh?
Yeah, hard to butt dial the same letters. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Kai's got a good question. You think Canucks overplayed their hand with Miller? I remember we were laughing at a first rounder, Hedel and Lundqvist. Now I wonder if we can get an offer similar, better than with teams capped out. Yeah, Jim Rutherford has said there hasn't been any real serious offers for him. Do you believe that?
Yeah, and sort of on the overplaying part, everyone knew the situation the Canucks were in, right?
Yep.
It's not like, oh man, they all figured it out. It was like, yeah, it's sort of obvious. If they're not getting offers, part of me is thinking, well, maybe you should start making some offers, right? Start going to teams. And I'm sure they are, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they overplay it. I think they just kind of gotten stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and we saw what Fiala went for in Brock Faber and a first-round pick. I mean, a future draft pick. So maybe we're looking at 2 assets now instead of 3 or 4. I know I was touting the 3 or 4 assets, but maybe it's only going to be 2. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, you got to get something, right?
Yep.
Whether it's now, whether it's all the way down at the trade deadline. But yeah, of course, if you're in the mix at the trade deadline, which we hope is the case, probably not seeing them getting shipped off that easily.
Yeah.
Which might be, I don't know, it might be good if they actually do it, because then it's like, okay, well, we don't have to trade him. You got to offer us a lot to get him, and then maybe some team will, but
sure. That
seems kind of tough.
Similarly, Vince Terrence says, another random question. Pacioretty and Bergstrom trade fair representation of a low-value winger market. Cap context aside, is that why we haven't seen a Garland-Pearson-Miller trade?
I don't think you can put cap context aside, because that's literally the reason that trade happened. Vegas got stuck. Vegas saw a shiny toy in Max Pacioretty and Jack Eichel and Mark Stone and all these guys. They see like, ooh, big name on the market. We got to go get him. They're like, we ran out of space. And other teams knew that, and they said, well, we'll take him off your hands, but we're not gonna do much more than that. I'm less familiar. I don't really remember the Bjorkstrand trade as much.
It was they basically
It was for a third and a fourth, so basically
yeah
nothing
yeah
for a 60-point player
yeah
who is making $5.4 million. Yeah, that's actually, I didn't even realize that. That's
yeah.
surprising.
Columbus had to move him though because they wanted to sign Patrick Laine, right? So
Right. So yeah,
yes,
again, you can't really put cap context aside,
yes,
because
good point.
that is literally the entire reason that those trades are able to happen. It does make me a little surprised that like bidding wars don't break out over things like this, right?
Hmm.
Like I'm surprised there's no team that sees, oh, third and a fourth, we can do a second and a fourth, right? Or two thirds, right? That seems doable, but no
Yeah,
one went that route.
yeah, no, that's fair. A lot of good questions now. Shiraz Hoglander, do you think his production declined last year more owing to him or the way Boudreaux deployed him? What are you seeing at his ceiling?
Well, you could call it the stereotypical sophomore slump,
Yeah,
right? Seems to happen a bit to everybody. I mean, he went from 27 points, 56 games to 18 points in 60.
mm-hmm.
Um, he definitely was on the short end of the deployment stick.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't think he played terribly. He just wasn't able to produce.
yeah,
And he didn't really earn much more than he was given.
correct.
Uh, and I think they were at the point where they were trying to push for a playoff spot, and there was no real room on the train for, well, let's get this guy some ice time. It was more, all right, we need to win games, and we need to win games now. You're not contributing enough to it. We're going to push you down the lineup a bit.
Yeah,
Um, so
yeah,
hopefully we get a bounce back, but
yeah. A lot of questions too about his defensive play, and yeah, if you're not a strong penalty killer and you're not making the best reads defensively, you're exactly right. You're going to go to a Pearson or someone else ahead of him. So we'll see. It's not going to get any easier with Mikheyev and Kuzmenko, especially coming. Lazar is going to be a fourth liner. We know that, but it's not going to be any easier for Hoglander. That's for sure.
mhm. Uh, Ivan asks, with the roster so far, which Pacific teams do you think won't make the playoffs? So let's sort of do a little Pacific Division stack rank
Yeah,
as of where we are today. How would you slot the 7 teams?
sure. If they're before the before the Kachuk for Uyghur Huberdeau plus trade, I would have had Calgary falling out. But for me, Parker, I'm going Edmonton as one, Calgary as two, and then LA and Vancouver fighting for 3, 4. Then I do have Anaheim, who I think are improved, as 5. Then, no, sorry, Vegas is 5, Anaheim
Right.
6, San Jose 7, Seattle 8. That's what I got.
Yeah, I think Edmonton one sounds about right to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I think LA, I really think overperformed a bit this year.
Mm.
And I think they'll come down a little bit. I mean, their goal differential was +3, right? And they had 99 points. That's not super sustainable. They had a really good road record, right? 23 wins on the road and 7 games taken OT. They pulled in 53 points on the road.
Mm.
That probably doesn't happen again. So I think they drop down right to about 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably put, yeah, so I'd probably go Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, LA, Vegas,
Yep.
Anaheim, San Jose are about the same.
Yep.
I think I like Anaheim a little more, so I think I'm basically the same boat as you. And then Seattle
Okay.
at the bottom.
So we got Vancouver, LA 3, 4 basically.
I think so.
All right, let's do it. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I take it.
Edmund asked, we were shocked about Klingberg. Yeah, we talked about it at the start, considering that he was in line for that much money over a multi-year contract, not just one. But there's obviously him wanting to build up his value after a down year.
Yeah, he kind of needs to. He was a really, really good player when he was younger. I think he's like 30 already, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, he had a bit of a down year, and I mean, hopefully he has a really good year this year. The Ducks extend him for 7 years, and then he gets terrible. So he gets the money, which is good for him. The Ducks do bad, which is good for us.
Yeah, they waste a bunch of money on a player. Exactly.
Lucas asks, is Vegas heading for the Rocks, and do you think it may result in a management shakeup? I think they are in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to want to play there, right? Like
Yeah.
they have been so hard on, well, if we can make this team a little bit better, we don't care about the relationships that might hurt, right? There's the whole, all the coaches that they've gone through. There's, going out and acquiring basically every player they have. No roster spot seems to be safe. And, a lot of players are looking at this like, what is going on? Right.
Yes.
And I think that would dissuade a lot of people from going to play there. And they also don't have the money to sign anybody. So I think it definitely could result in some sort of shakeup because they are in trouble.
Yeah. The novelty has certainly worn off a little bit. And I agree with everything you just said, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. What else do we got?
Karan asked right before that, you think the Canucks will chime into the Jesper Bratt stakes? I'm not so sure.
I don't think so. I'm sure they'll just
either.
sort of get that figured out. He'd be too expensive to acquire.
I agree.
73-point player, really, really good player. It would take a lot to pry him out of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Fangirl asks, who do you think gets more points next season? Peter Hughes. I'm going PD.
Yeah, probably PD, but I think I said Hughes like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Because it seemed like a spicy answer. And it doesn't seem that unreasonable, right? Yeah. I mean, Hughes could easily get 70 points, and Pettersson could easily be mid-60s again. Hopefully Pettersson has more points than Hughes, but hopefully they're both high up there.
Yes. Angus, since NHL has a true hard cap, are the ages of Miller and Kadri scaring people, giving them the contract they feel they deserve?
Age is scary. I don't think GMs care about it as much as people online do, including myself. We see these age curves, right? And then GMs are like, yeah, but Joe Pavelski. And it's like, okay. But like most of the time, you're more likely to get a Louis Eriksson than a Evgeny Malkin or a Joe Pavelski, right? These are the cream of the crop guys. Miller and Kadri are good players. They have never been the top of the game like a guy like Pavelski has been or very close to for a prolonged period of time. Miller's had one really good year. Kadri's had a couple of really good years. But these are two guys who play a pretty physical style, right? That doesn't usually contribute well to age. So I think it should scare teams away a fair bit.
And I think some GMs, if they sign a guy to say 6 years, they're willing to take 3 or 4 good years and then figure out what's going to happen in the final 2 years too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in your window where that makes sense.
Right. Mr. Joker, I like this. I saw 2 2017 redrafts where Heiskanen went ahead of EP40. If you're a Canucks GM, would you trade EP40 for Miro Heiskanen?
It's tricky because I don't see a lot of Heiskanen because we just don't see him play a lot. I think right now, I think the Canucks don't make that trade because they already have their number one on the left.
Yes,
and it's Quinn Hughes.
Exactly.
And they would not have a number one center after that. That's the one time where need sort of sticks out. I mean, if we're just saying who is worth more, I mean, they're pretty even, right? Number one defenseman, number one center that are both elite players.
Yep.
I mean, you can sort of take whoever you want in that case.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. And I think Pettersson's gonna have a really good year. I really do, and I think it'd be different if we had no Quinn Hughes. Exactly, that's a really really good point. Yeah,
Heiskanen's still only a 23-year-old defenseman, right? Like they get better. So
crazy.
What else do we got?
Kai, we actually talked about Rutherford and Pullman at the start of the show. So the quick answer is no. Parker and I do not believe Tucker Pullman is a top 4 defenseman, but
it's not a hot take either.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to bump up a trade value or whatever, or say the right things as opposed to trashing him. In the media for sure. Yeah.
Edmund with an interesting one. Do you think if Nate Schmidt stayed for one more year, would he have benefited from Boudreau's coaching?
Yeah, they're almost the same, not the same guy, but similar personality. And we heard stories of Nate Schmidt not really fitting in. Well, we gotta remember that was a crazy Canadian. That was the Canadian division year. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a tough one. That was a tough one for him and Braden Holtby to get acclimated. No surprise, they're both gone. Yeah, maybe with Boudreaux, the Smith thing's crazy, Parker. I was so excited when we got him.
Yeah, me
That was
too.
a big disappointment because he's a puck-moving defenseman.
Yeah, it just was a swing and a miss where he had a real down year. Now he's going to Winnipeg. He's been great for them. But yeah, just wrong place, wrong time.
So to answer Edmund's question, yes, I
Probably.
do think he would have benefited for sure. And thanks, Vince. Vince got to take care of his baby. That's good. Good dad.
What else we got here? Franco
Krantz?
says, do you think Sutter retires from the NHL, maybe takes a coaching position, maybe with the Canucks? I think he retires. I don't think he's getting a coaching job here.
I'd agree with that.
And I think that might have been in the cards until that Kuzma article. And now I think people would have some problems. So
why did he say something? You mean the coaching part or the retirement part?
The coaching part.
What did he say?
He was just he got really anti-vax out of nowhere in this Kuzma article.
Oh, Sutter did
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
How did I miss that part? Okay,
I think you were away.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he might run into some trouble on that one.
Okay, I will
Not
go
the best
look that
PR
up.
move.
Okay, good. Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Austin, do you think that if the Canucks play to their potential, they could win their division? Now, I made a video before the bubble, and I said, can the Canucks, if they play great, like, what do they need to do to win the North Division? And that didn't work at all. So no, I don't think they can win the division.
Yeah.
I think, okay, they can, right? The odds aren't 0. It's maybe 5%, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think there are too many holes on the team. They're better than last year, but remember, they had 92 points last year. To win the division, you need about 100, 105 points, sometimes 110. Yeah, exactly. That's a big jump. But
yeah, I mean, the top of each division this year was 116, 122, 119, 111.
Okay, so that's huge. But you and I are both saying they're going to improve enough to get to maybe as high as third, and I think anyone will take that.
Yeah, we're not jumping that much in in 1 year.
Yeah. King RJ not happy. Rutherford and Alvin are all talk, but when it comes to actually doing anything, they sit in a corner. I like that.
Have you been there? Are you like looking through the window? They just have both office chairs facing into a corner.
Banished.
Yeah. They've got a little TV. They got NHL Network on. No, I highly doubt that they're sitting in a corner not doing anything. I think that would be bad for morale, and I don't think Francesco would be stoked about his money going to that.
Ivan says, who has a higher ceiling, Podkolzin or Mikheyev?
Well, Mikheyev's at his ceiling.
Yeah, that's true.
And what's his ceiling? Like, what did he have last year? Like
50?
30 points in 53 games. So like a 50-point pace.
Yeah.
I'd say they're very similar ceilings.
Yeah.
Like I think that's actually a really good question. It's a real toss-up. I hope Podkolzin, but I wouldn't be surprised if Podkolzin, maybe peaks as a 40-point player, right? That wouldn't be crazy.
Right.
It wouldn't be ideal, but
yeah,
I guess he could do more, right? 26 points in 79 games this last year. Yeah, he could do. I think he probably does have a higher ceiling.
I think Scott Wheeler from The Athletic just did a redraft of the 2019. We know that Podkolzin went 10th overall on the first night here in Vancouver, and he has him at around 16 or 17. So people like Cole Caulfield, who are picked after him, shooting ahead of him, which is fair. Yep. But he did say that, he was worried that Podkolzin's offense was a bit one-dimensional. He still says he's still a good player. So he has him maxing out, Parker, as a third-line forward, which is exactly what we'd say Mikheyev is. So it kind of lends to your point about them having similar, not matching, but very similar ceilings, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think he's sort of at that trajectory where like a really good third-liner that can put up, 40 points in the year. Which you'd love for a third liner, or maybe a guy who overachieves at some point and puts up 55 points on a second line. Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves there.
And if you throw Kuzmenko into that mix, who's got the highest ceiling of the three Russians? That's what Mr. Joker just asked.
I have no idea. I have no way of like I could see Kuzmenko putting up 80 points this year or 25. Like I have no idea.
I'm really intrigued because we know
Yeah.
nothing about him. We know nothing aside from what we've read, right? But I'm very intrigued.
Yeah. It's a real toss-up.
Yep, for sure. Lucas and Fangirl asking about a team in Quebec. Lucas says, Parker and Clay, someone recently tweeted about a 33rd team. And what team would you want to base their team? I said Quebec, but what would you guys say? And then Fangirl says, with eager ownership and a fan base in Quebec City, who would you relocate? So they're not going to go to 33 teams, right? The symmetry is nice of 16 in each. Yeah.
And no other league has that many teams, right? The
Right.
NFL is 32.
Yeah.
NBA has 30.
Yeah. So someone would have to move.
Yeah, and it's Arizona.
It
just is. But that's the obvious answer. What's the number 2?
How about
Winnipeg?
I'm trying to think of a struggling team in the States.
Anaheim. Why? Who put a team in Anaheim? There's nothing there. There's Disneyland. Disneyland's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There's a mall where they have these little things, these little fake animals you can drive around, like a little line you can put quarters in it, and Shorthouse, Murphy, and Cheech were using them, and there was a Twitter video of them, and I remembered that, and then I was there like a year later, and I saw them, and I freaked out. And there's a Dave and Buster's and a movie theater, and that's all there is in Anaheim.
That's it.
And a hockey team, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess they have baseball there too. But like there's nothing in Anaheim other than Disneyland.
Yep.
What else could you move? You could move. You can't really. All the other teams are good right now. That would be like on the fence, right? Like Florida, right? They're good. So you're not moving. You're not moving a 122 point team.
Exactly.
And that's sort of like the only other ones that would cross my mind.
Yeah, and I think of markets like Columbus, but then Goudreau was so excited to go there, and apparently there's a really good hockey market. Actually, we just don't hear a lot about them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, Arizona it is, but Bettman won't.
And where would you put that team? Would you be Quebec City?
Yeah, we've talked about it too. I really like the city of Houston. I've been there before, and they're big. They're like third or fourth biggest city in the States. So Quebec or Houston for me.
Yeah, Houston does make sense, but also like kind of lame because Quebec City would just be cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What are some weird options? Throw it in Portland. You could put one in Hawaii. That would be it. That would be sweet.
It would be sweet. The travel would be a bit of
suck.
Yeah. How about Alaska? They're Alaska.
Yeah,
too.
up in Juneau or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Jasker, an interesting question. From what I've noticed, top teams never seem to go on a deep run to win. Good example is Montreal and St. Louis. I'm not sure what that means, actually.
I don't even see this note.
It's earlier, like 1048. But
1048.
Yeah.
Got it. Top teams never seem to go on a deep run to win. Good examples, Montreal, St. Louis. Well, I don't think that's really true. The thing is, like, there's 16 teams that make it, right?
Yeah.
The number one isn't going to make it every time, right?
Right.
Even if even if the number one's, there's 8 teams on each side. If the number one made it half the time or 30% of the time, that's still better than average, right?
Yeah.
Even 25% of the time on each side.
Right.
So you're just going to have one-offs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Canucks went on a deep run. They just didn't win.
Yes.
Boston was also a top team at the time.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of top teams that go pretty far.
Yeah, good point. And Lucas, another $5 donation. Thank you, Lucas. My picks for NHL relocation in the next 10 years: Arizona. Oh, I missed it. Arizona and Florida. I'm also hearing reports that the NBA will expand as early as 24, 25.
Yeah, I could see them going up to 32. And I'm obviously, Seattle's been heavily rumored there, which would make a lot of sense, right?
Yes.
And then Lucas is saying Vegas and Seattle. Vegas is, I get why they do Vegas, and they
Easy.
make a ton of money.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just, it's getting a little overdone. You know, they put hockey there, and then they're like, oh, that's doing really good. Let's build a football stadium.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now let's put a baseball in there. Or not
Yeah.
baseball. Baseball would be terrible in Vegas. Don't do that. Put in put in climate controlled sports. I guess football's in the fall, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine playing August baseball in Las Vegas?
You'd melt. You'd find like the center fielder just in the puddle at the warning track.
Mm-hmm. Edmund asks, who'd you pick for the cover of NHL 23? It's obvious. The number 23. It's Dustin Brown.
Oh,
No.
That's it. And my serious answer would be Makar McKinnon. Is McKinnon being on it already?
No.
Okay.
I think Makar would be a great pick.
Yep.
And kind of a slam dunk. He's so marketable right now that
Yeah.
I think that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Would you put Kai from 1050? Thoughts on OEL potentially moving to the right side for some games to play with Hughes? I just don't see OEL unlocking his offensive potential playing with Myers. Can OEL play on the right?
I don't know. It's harder than it sounds. It's like, oh, you just do the same thing, but on the other side.
Yeah.
I've tried it as a professional beer leaguer, and it is, because I would always play. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Put me on whichever side you want. And then like, oh, the puck comes around the boards, and it's like, I gotta get it off the boards on my backhand. It's just harder, right? Think about the way the stick curves, right?
Yeah.
If it's on the boards, it just hooks. Like the puck is just gonna hook into it. But if it's on the backhand, it's the wrong way, and it just doesn't work, and it's trickier. So, and it's just a lot easier to play someone to your strong side because you can keep the stick in the middle of the ice, because it would be in your left hand if you're playing the right side, so you can keep them from cutting to the middle, and it's easier to force someone outside than if your sticks, if you're playing the left side and you're right-handed, or vice versa. It's just harder. So I can see why most teams don't do it.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
You Agam asked if you're a Blue Jays or Mariners guy.
I'm not a baseball guy, but if I had to pick one, I'd go Blue Jays over Mariners. Actually,
I go Mariners.
Okay, that's fair. Still not
I'm
a
a
baseball
local guy.
Yeah, good.
Just local. Good. I can go to a Mariners game. I can't go to a Blue Jays game unless they're in Seattle, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Jasker says, "Do you right?" He just asked it. Do you guys think Makar is also known as the best defenseman because he's right-handed? No, he's known as best defenseman because he's the best. He's
just the best player.
Yeah.
When I'm watching him play, I'm like, oh, and he's right-handed. I'm like, no, I'm just like, he's insane. He's so good.
But Jasker, you do bring up a good point, because there is a premium certainly put on right-handed defensemen. So the fact that he is it makes him even that much more special. But that's not the reason why he's the best. If that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. We're getting close on time.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting very close on time. What else we got here? Agamas, which prospects do you think have the best chance of making the team this year, excluding Rathbone and Lockwood?
Wow, true prospects?
See, you've excluded the two that are reasonable.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't see another one making the team this year.
Klimovich? Probably not.
No. If Dickinson's still here and Miller's still here, Lockwood to me is already number 13, 14. So Klimovich is still number 15, 16.
Kai says Carlson.
Yeah, and there's this group of Niels Oman and Arshdeep Baines and Linus Carlson. Klimovich. I'm really intrigued by them, Parker.
Yeah, I'd say Carlson's above that group.
You think so? Yeah, okay. That's fair. Lucas pays $2 to say, Parker, get ready for the Las Vegas Athletics. So Oakland A's moving to Las Vegas.
Okay. I watched Moneyball. That's the only thing I care about the Athletics. Yes. As a non-baseball boy.
And Dean makes a good point too. Trade Miller with OEL for nothing, just get out of that contract. Well, sorry, not a good point. An interesting point.
No, I think you could. I don't think you'd have to give up too much to get rid of OEL's contract.
Yeah.
Again, I think he's. I think lots of people will be blinded by big defenseman who was good at one point and played decently last year, and be like, yeah, we can stomach a couple of excess $1 million a year if you add in, a little bit. And I think JT Miller is a lot more value than OEL has
Right.
negative value.
Do you think though you have to do a small sweetener like a pick or a prospect to get off of OEL's contract?
Probably.
Yeah.
If I was taking on that contract, I would want something like that,
Yep. Yep.
which
Me
I did
too.
last time, but we acquired it.
What? Say that again. Sorry, I missed that.
Well, when we acquired him, I wanted more
Yes. Yes. Of course,
in
of
return,
course.
but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agam says surely Myers and OEL have nearly positive value. I think Myers does, because Myers only has 2 years left.
Yes. Yeah.
OEL has a bunch of years left,
Right.
and I think that's scarier. Yeah, not bad players right now is fine when you have 2 years left. When you have 6 years left or whatever it is, it matters.
And then just like Miller, they're going to say that Myers is going to be even worth more after this season because he's only got 1 year left, $6 million. There'll be teams that will take that on.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
All right. You want to wrap up? 11 o'clock?
Sure.
All right. Folks, thank you all very much. Make sure you hit the like button while you're here and make sure you're subscribed. If you missed any part of the show, which I know most of you did, feel free to rewind back to the beginning. Or if you want to watch it later on, you can find it on your favorite podcast platform in a matter of about 15, 20 minutes. Usually takes or so. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Clay, any parting words for this evening?
Well, I'm officially declaring this show, August 1st, as the least amount of Canucks news I think that we've had in maybe 9 months to a year. But thanks to all of your creative questions and engagement, we made it through. And I dare say it was a pretty entertaining, pretty informative show, given the circumstance. So thank you. We will see what happens. Looking for more news over the next few weeks. But I guess it's JT Miller watch and right side defenseman watch, as it's been for the past number of months.
Yep. And next show might be at some point. That is about all the information I can give you on what our next episode will be, because I think Clay is on vacation.
Yes.
So we'll figure something out. We'll post it on the community tab, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Otherwise, though, thank you all very much for watching, and we will